And we're back with more Breath of Fire 3. This is the last bit. There's no more fun and games, there's no more screwing around. This is it. And the music is suitably epic, it looks like. I think we all know by now that whenever she runs off like that, it always means trouble. Actually, you know what means more trouble? Fighting monsters. Really, dude? I'm not dealing with this. I don't want to deal with this. Just let me go. Seriously? He just knows that? Fuck, dude. Ow. So yes, this was the main move of the dude in the dream world. Could I just go now? I just want to go. So let me leave. God. I don't need to fight you guys. I don't want to fight you guys. I have an appointment with a goddess who may or may not try to kill me. So the last thing I need is these guys punking me out before I deal with it. You're an amazing machine. Do you know that, honey? Attention. Navigator code for highest level functions accepted. Access to library mode granted. Oh dear. That's a long elevator down. Welcome. We serve the Almighty Goddess. Before you meet with Holy Myria, please hear our words. Okay. So this is technically the last room with enemies in it. So you know what? I'm not having any of this crap. You think I want to go into facing Myria with any problems? No. The Holy Myria awaits you ahead. Well, thank you. That was nice. We're about as ready as we're gonna be. Before the coming of Myria, the world was dying. The wounded earth was being covered by sand, and the very life was being sucked out of its inhabitants. The grieving Myria used her divine power to divide the world into two halves. One half being where you are now, the desert of death, and the other, the world you came from, overflowing with life. The two worlds are separated by the vast and violent ocean you call the Outer Sea. which protects your world from the desert. The majority of life that escaped death was taken like yourselves to the other world. It is Myria's desire to protect life, to protect your world. Even a monster's life is sacred to Myria. In order to protect the life she so loved, Myria instituted safeguards and controls. Foremost among these was the control of technology. Myria makes certain that no dangerous machines, like weapons, are developed. Myria allows the use and repair of only existing machines, and keeps the study of machines from leading to destructive ends. A second control is achieved through the energy of Chrism ore. Chrism ore is the fossilized remains of human beings. Transmuted by the blessed power of divine Myria, you see, Chrism ore is no more than one of the ways Myria provides the world with her magical energy. Ray, Nina, Momo, Guardian Gar, and Ryu. My brave, strong children, who've crossed the violent ocean and the burning desert. I am Myria. Oh, great and mighty goddess, we have journeyed far seeking you that we might know the truth. Please tell us, why did the brood have to be destroyed? Is there anyone who wishes the destruction of life? I don't. But the power of the brood was too great. Too great for my small world. As you know, This side of the world is almost entirely buried by sand, making it almost impossible for anything to survive. Life has been driven nearly to extinction. I have to preserve what little is left. I had to save the rest of the world from that danger called the Brood. So, what you're saying is, we should just sit back and let you take care of us like good little children or something, right? Exactly. If I didn't hold it back using the outer sea as a shield, the desert would slowly, inevitably spread across the entire world. And if I did not continue to create the machines that are repaired and used worldwide, civilization as we know it would surely perish. But while we don't have the means now, someday we might be able to build our own machines. If the world were covered by sand, your lives would be consumed with the struggle to survive. You would not be able to build anything. And even if you succeeded in creating machines you needed, can you say with certainty you would not also build a weapon which could also destroy yourselves? In the past, this world was large, larger than you can imagine. Many people once lived here in Karajan. But the people fought and quarreled, and the city was swallowed by the desert. I was unable to protect them. I will not make that same mistake again. I will protect you and all the life that is left. I understand what you're trying to say, but... And I agree that we are weak and might need protection. And the power of the Brood may be similar to the power that destroyed that city, but... What are you saying we should do? Are you saying that Ryu must die? Or that he has to spend the rest of his life locked up in some little room like Tipo was? No kidding. I don't like the fact that this is all being controlled by you. That you're pulling all the strings, Ray. What are you doing? I'm just like a little kid. See? You tell me to sit still? It makes me just want to run around more, yeah? Oh, goddess. We have no desire to give up Ryu to you. Nor do we wish to see him killed. Having traveled with him, I can say that I do not believe the power of the Brood is as fearsome and dangerous as you claim it to be. I'm shocked that nearly the entire world is covered by sand, but with our power working together, then maybe, just maybe, enough. I admire your bravery and courage. Oh boy. She's not fucking around now. There is no need for you to worry. I will erase your memories of this place and simply return you to where you belong. She's bringing out some claws. My strength is admittedly small, but it is all you have to live with. Do you understand? Oh boy. Thank you for bringing Ryu here. Your mission is now complete. Boing, boing. What about me? You didn't call my name. Don't you know who I am? You're Yggdrasil? You won't be able to get away with this. Not while I'm around. All I'm doing is leading my children by the hand, giving them a world they can live in. Myria, these so-called children crossed the entire world to get here and overcame the myriad barriers you had set before them, all for the sake of helping their friend find his destiny. You? Very well. Let's let Ryu decide. What do you want to do? If you give up your power, the world will continue to live under my protection, as it has until now. Your power, which has brought you here, is too big for the world, like the other brood once did. Accept your fate, my Ryu. Oh dear. So, before I get to this, I do want to mention there are two separate endings. The supposed bad ending and supposed good ending. I say supposed because, as stated, this is turning into a sort of like, we don't want you under our thumb, we don't want to be under your thumb, we hate God sort of thing. But still in a way that makes sense from the God's perspective. Even though she is what I would consider misguided and sort of, I don't know if braggadocious is the word, but fearful and puffed up, I guess. Some of her words, like, without my power, this would happen. What we're seeing is Myria has the power of taking people away and terraforming the world and lots of things. And to be fair, she has way more power than that. But at the same time, you saw what the Desert of Death was like. You saw what the people living in Dragnir were like. And yes, they were driven there. But her words aren't without merit. So this is turning into a kind of thing almost like half Final Fantasy X, half Scrapped Princess. If the idea is, in Scrapped Princess, there's this fearful god of power that lives in this girl that's supposedly going to kill the world, basically. And a series of gods who we don't learn about until the end of the show basically take, like, spoilers for people who haven't seen it. It's a really good show, but anyway, basically the world is cut off and there are these super powered gods, much like Myria, who are like, well, we have powers that are like mechs and whatever, you know, and they say, we don't want whatever's gonna happen to happen at this day. And you have people on one side trying to protect the girl, you have the other people who are gods basically saying, look, we have the world in this little box and we want to save it. The issue with Scrap Princess, and the reason this works a little bit better, is it's more antagonistic. But at the same time, they don't understand it either. Myria comes off a little bit arrogant and a little bit of a trickster, but still, when you're in a situation, whether you're, say, you're homeless, or you're in a bad medical situation, or you live in a shitty neighborhood, or you live in a fucking desert, or whatever, you know, this is an amalgamation of that. What she's saying makes sense, right? Because you're saying, I have this world that is, to me, my force of willing. I can't do anything. I can't make any friends in this. I'm trying to get food. I'm trying not to die. I'm trying not to get stabbed or whatever, you know. Just the rush of survival is dominating your life. The issue of not feeling pain, the issue of avoiding problems, the issue of survival is so great, you don't think about anything else. From that perspective, I can understand it. And again, that is what makes this so weird. A lot of people think Myria is this being of ultimate evil that's tricking the party. And yes, she has the power to just go. But she's misguided and desperate, and that's different than being an antagonist. That is what makes this so difficult. Because part of me actually accepts that what she's saying makes a whole lot of sense. If Yggdrasil wasn't a thing who had this power over nature, I mean, I could definitely see the party being like, well, what do we do? The main issue being, on one side you have Myria, who basically, let's face it, was driven this way. For better or for worse, something happened and she just said, no, I'm going to do this regardless of what you say, when this is what I believe. And her will is so strong that Dace and Yggdrasil on the other side are basically like, what do we even do? It's almost like watching one of your friends or one of your relatives basically go batshit. But again, in a way that makes plausible sense. And your party is caught in the middle of saying, do we want to be ruled in safety and security? There's nothing wrong with that. That's basically like getting shit. That's that Clerk's quote. Either shit or get off the pot, you know? And it's like, convenience. There is nothing wrong with living in convenience and having your life secured and laid out for you. And Japan has this anti-religion thing, or this you do what... It's a cultural thing where it says, you don't want to be ruled by gods. That was the thing in 10, that was the thing in 13, that was the thing in this game, that was the thing in Scrap Princess. You see this a lot. But the reason, again, that I think that Breath of Fire 3 does it well is that Myria is not an antagonist in the purest sense. Maybe she's playing the trickster, maybe she isn't. But I don't think she's tricking the party at all. I think she's just driven to the point that this is what has to be done. Let me do this. And now we're at a crossroads of saying, well, what do we do? What does the party choose to do? And the game, of course, wants you to beat the game. So, we don't really have a choice, and now do we? It's all because of this nonsense that she's going on about that Tipo ended up the way he did! She messed with my brother! That's the one thing I can't forgive. I brought you here simply because I wanted to know the truth about my own actions. It may have been a selfish reason, but I've learned one thing from all this. Now, Mother Myria, I trust you. I only know how to fix machines, you know. But we can dig up those machines, even if they're buried under a desert, and learn from them. Even if the world is covered in sand, we'll still be able to do something, as long as we don't give up, right? To tell the truth, I'm really frightened. We're not strong at all. And if you do fight against fate, something awful might happen. But I've always believed you weren't a bad dragon. I'll always believe that, no matter what happens. Ryu, you have to believe in yourself, and in those who believe in you. Well, a decision on the fate of the world hangs in the balance. And suffice it to say, the final battle will be next time.